So, Christmas is just around the corner. It is literally next week, and as most of you probably know by now, on Christmas Day, you will be able to wish for pretty much any rod that you want in the entire game, and via Santa's letter. Now, ever since this little letter popped up for the first time right over here, it has popped one question into everyone's heads. And that question is, what rod should I wish for? And in this video, I'm going to answer that question by giving 10 examples of some of the best rods that you should wish for this Fischmas to make sure that you don't waste your wish and you can get a really cool rod pretty much instantly. So, now before we begin, I do want to give a brief disclaimer that everything said in this video is just my personal opinion, and you don't have to agree with all of what I'm saying. But feel free to leave a comment on what rod you are going to wish for this Fischmas, and make sure to like the video, maybe subscribe if you're feeling a little fancy. It does really help me out here. And without further ado, let's get on into the video. Now, I know I promised you guys a top 10 best rods to wish for this Fischmas, but in reality, I'm actually going to be splitting this up into two different categories, each housing 5 rods, because everybody's already covered a best rods video, and it's just kind of boring, especially since you probably already have a rod in mind. So the two categories that I'm going to be splitting this up into are the top 5 best rods to wish for this Fischmas, and the top 5 coolest rods to wish for this Fischmas, so that you don't waste your wish. And no matter what happens, whether you already have a good rod and you just want something cool to flex on your friends about, or if you already have a cool rod and you just need something good to make some money off of. And you can just use any of the rods from this list because they are all probably ones that you are going to want. So now let's get into the video. Alright, now starting off with the top 5 best rods to wish for this Fischmas, going from best to worst because I don't want to waste any of you guys' time. It's going to start off with the Wing Ripper. Now, I mean, a lot of you are probably asking yourself right now, or asking me, or I can see you typing the comment, Cookie, why Wing Ripper instead of Polaris? And to that I say, whoops, there's an earthquake happening, that's pretty cool. To that I say, I will get to that later. For now, I'm going to explain why Wing Ripper is here, not explain why Polaris isn't. And the reason is just because, pretty much, it doesn't really get old. This rod, it has insanely good stats, it has pretty cool mutations. It has Nocturnal and Diurnal, Diurnal being a 7x and Nocturnal being an 8x, and it has 2 different variations, meaning that you don't really get old. It doesn't really get old. You never really get bored of this rod. It's always going to be fun to use because there's always new stuff to play around with it. And the variations are pretty broken. During the daytime, you have an insane amount of control and you can catch diurnal fish, which means pretty much anything you hook is going to be caught pretty easily. And at nighttime, you have a huge boost in progress speed. Like, we're talking almost try-hard rod levels of progress speed boost, which sounds insane, and that's because it is. This rod is literally so broken, and it's just really cool. So that's going to be the number 1 spot. And then number 2 is obviously going to be the next best pick, Polaris Serenade. Which I know, there's no doubt in my mind that this is going to be the most wished for rod this entire update. Because literally everybody knows how broken this rod is. And pretty much everybody's going to be, picking it. They're all going to be wishing for it. Especially since it's obtainable. I mean, not obtainable. Any rod that's obtainable, you shouldn't wish for. These are not obtainable, so you can wish for these. And there's going to be so many Polarises walking around. And the only reason that I don't... There's actually 2 reasons the two reasons that I don't have this rod in the number 1 spot is because, number 1, it gets really old really fast. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a broken rod, the mutation is really good, the multiplier on that is insane, the stats are absolutely insane. I mean, just look at these stats. Like, these are not fair. But with the amount of people wishing for it, I am pretty confident that this rod is going to get nerfed into the dirt, like a lot of rods did when they became very available. So with this rod probably getting nerfed, that's the main reason. And the second reason is it just gets old really fast. Like, there's no variations to it at all. Pretty much every time you catch a fish, it's the exact same experience. And there's not really much fun to it. You just kind of hook a fish, and then you don't have to do anything. It just auto-catches, pretty much. Which is really good, but it kind of sucks the fun out of the game, which is why I don't have this in top 1. But still a very good choice, and I would respect your decision if you chose to pick this rod. So, moving on to the third place. This one is where it might get a little controversial. And that's because in my third place, I have the Jack-O-Blazer rod. Now, just hear me out, okay? Top 5 best rods to wish for, this is Fischmas. And Jack-O-Blazer is the third one. Just hear me out. This rod is basically just broken Astral Hook. And Astral Hook, as you know, you probably know this already, it is an insanely good rod. And this rod just takes what Astral Hook does and multiplies it by 10. Like, this rod is insane. It has 2 different mutations, those being, I believe, Wicked, which is like a 6.6x, and I think it's called Jack's Curse, which is like an 8.6x. Which, those are already really good mutations, and you're really not going to fail anything with this rod. Like, it's going to be pretty hard to pull that off, especially if you have good mutations like Rage and Peppermint, or Piercing, or even Chaotic. It's just really good. It's an insanely broken rod, and it's super cool. Like, just look at this thing. I would give my life to have this if I didn't already have it. Like, this is insanely cool. Although it is a little lackluster in the stat department. Not even a instant catch, but it's still really good. And it's going to be the third place here. So that moves us on to the second place, which is probably one that a lot of you are also going to wish for because of how wide its use case is. And that's going to be Rod of the Cosmos. Now, the reason a lot of you I already know are going to wish for this rod is because its main use is catching cosmic relics, which, if you don't know what those are, which you probably do, they are secondary enchants that are really broken. Like, everybody wants cosmic relics, everybody needs these, and this pretty much guarantees that you'll get at least 1 per starfall. Like, doesn't that sound insane? This rod is literally so good. So that's why I'm gonna have this in my 4th place for the best rods to wish for. It's also pretty cool. Like, I do like this design. I like the eclipse pattern and stuff like that. I also like how it reminds me of whenever Fish finally decided to remove Second Sea, which just, it brings a tear to my eye. Now, for the last place in the best rods to wish for, like, this is still a really good rod to wish for, but it is bottom 5. And that's going to be the Nate's Blade, which I don't actually have. But I know you're probably asking me again, Cookie, why Nate's Blade? There's so many good options for rods out there. And to that I say, this is my tier list. And Nate's Blade is going in that number 5 spot because it's such a cool rod. I'm so sad that I missed it because it has really good stats. It has a really good passive. And it gives 3 mutations that were really good, but they kind of got nerfed into the dirt. Which is a little sad, but admittedly, I don't know what we expected to happen. It also has two pretty cool skins, those being White Blade and Scarlet, which I believe the Scarlet code is still active if you just go into the menu and scroll down to codes and just type in code Scarlet. Then you will get a cool skin for that rod, and it's just a really cool rod. It's really good. You pretty much can't fail a fish with it if you're actually trying, and that's why it's going to be number 5. So that's been the best rods to wish for. Let's go on to the coolest ones to wish for. Now this is where I get into really dangerous territory with the opinions, where there could be a lot of people out there that are going to get kind of mad with things that I say, but like I said in the beginning, my tier list, my rules. And if you don't like it, you can just comment what you think, because it gives me free publicity. So go ahead, do that, by all means. So top 5 coolest rods is going to start off with, in my opinion, easily the coolest rod of all time, and that is Fallen Snowblade. Let me unequip that skin. This rod is so epic. Just look at this thing. And another reason that it's so good to wish for is because it's also like, it's actually not a bad rod. Like, this rod is actually really good. The passives are kind of mid, but the stats are great, especially if you're using good bait and you have a nice mutation on it. I mean, an enchant on it. But just look at this rod. Look at it in all of its glory. And personally, I love this rod so much because my favorite developer of fish, Snow, or RDev Snow, literally gave it to me personally. I found him in game, I asked for it, and he gave it to me. So this has some memories attached to it, and I just really love the design of this rod. I kind of wish I had a super cool skin for it, like Angelic Lightblade, if you know what that is. But that's whatever, because this rod is just so cool on its own. And if you wish for this rod, your friends are all gonna just swarm around you and ask what this is. So you can wish for that, the Fallen Snowblade. Now, the next one that I have is going to be the Chrysalis, which I've actually heard a lot of YouTubers talking about wishing for this rod. Right, let me find it in my bag real quick. I've heard a surprising number of YouTubers talk about wishing for this Chrysalis rod, and that is completely understandable. This rod is so cool. It's just, the passive is pretty good. I think it used to be meta at one point. It's the brother of the Oniri Falx. Pretty hard to compete with Oniri Falx, but still a really good rod. It's super epic. It like duplicates fish for you. I just really love the way it looks, and supposedly it's the weapon of someone in like Genshin Impact, I think. I don't really know. I'm not in the loop with that, but it's pretty cool. I do understand all the love around this rod. I wanted to get it so bad whenever it came out, and then I finally got it, which I'm very happy about. So like, it's pretty cool. I do like this rod a lot. And the next one that I have that for you that you should wish for is going to be one that I also don't have, because this is the rod that I'm going to be wishing for, and that is the Astral Hook rod. Now, if you've seen this rod in game, you know just how much aura it has, and it's such a good rod too. It's so hard to fail fish with that rod, and the mutation that it gives is kind of mid, but it looks really cool. Purple is my favorite color, so it's really cool. I love it. So that's why I'm going to be wishing for the Astral Hook rod, and it's a really cool rod. You can go ahead and wish for that one. I think a lot of people are going to wish for it, so you can claim one of the spots as one of the people with it. Next up, we have another rod that I don't have, so I can't showcase this one either, but it is the Demon Slayer. You heard that right, that's a real rod. Look it up, it's in the wiki. The Demon Slayer rod. If you've ever seen this rod in game, it's really cool. It's just like a big sword. It kind of looks like the Rex, which is one of the developer / content creator exclusive rods that like Trey has. I wish I could have that rod one day. You know, subscribe please. But Demon Slayer is really similar to that rod. It's really mid, like it's not a good rod at all, and I wouldn't really suggest wishing for it, but you do you. I would not hate you if you wish for it. I would love to see people wish for the Demon Slayer because of just how cool it is. It was a code rod, but that code has been long removed since then. So that's another rod to wish for. And in the last place for the coolest rods to wish for, I'm going to say Bat Whisperer. Now, I don't have this rod either. I'm sorry, I don't have any of these rods, so it's kind of disappointing. But I'm just going to equip this because it's dope. Bat Whisperer rod, just hear me out, is really good. Like, it's a really good rod for catching really mid fish with really cool mutations. That's how I know of it. It's just, I don't actually know what the stats are because I don't have it. I wish I did, but grinding all that candy was just not for me, especially since I was hardly on during the fish fight update. But it's a really cool rod, and it's pretty good. So I might even put it above Astral Hook on this list, but since I'm wishing for Astral Hook, and this is my list, I'm going to put Astral Hook above it. So that's the list. That's all the top 10 rods that you should wish for in this game. I hope this helped. If it did help, yeah, that's cool, because that means you watched my video instead of anybody else's, which is kind of rare, since I'm a very small creator right now. But if you're watching this right now, comment Snowblade, I guess? I don't really know. But yeah, do that, like the video, subscribe, and yeah, man, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!